Have you ever wanted to breed rainbow fish?
Alrighty, we're over here at the workbench and we got our supplies. So we'll go over them very briefly. So for a shark, we have a box cutter, something similar, or if you are unable to use a box cutter, a pair of scissors also works very well as well. And then we've got our styrofoam. This is gonna be either styrofoam or cork material. I had styrofoam offhand because I just got a shipment of fish in, but you can use cork as well if you'd like to use that as a flotation device. And then I've got this box because I'm gonna flip it over and use the sharp against it. And then I have yarn, and then this yarn is going to be the mopping material, and this is most importantly acrylic, 100% acrylic yarn. That means that this yarn is not going to decompose inside your water and cause any parameter issues at all. So this is a very, very good yarn. I chose this color specifically instead of a white color because white should accumulate algae over time, and I didn't want to choose a black color because it'd be very easy to see all those eggs by those other fish. And so in order for it to be not a target, I choose this subdued green color, and it kind of looks like plants anyways, so this is a very natural color for this. One more tool is a lighter. Now this is going to be really good for our styrofoam applications when we sear off the edges to make all these bubbles come off and kind of create a more solid, rigid piece of styrofoam. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this lighter and we're gonna sear off these little bubbles, because sometimes these bubbles can like come off and like, you know, be a real nuisance when they just flake off like that. And I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of this type of thing happening just because something's hitting the edge, right? And so in order to prevent that, what I do is I take the lighter in a well-ventilated area, and I just melt them down, and then it kind of becomes a nice solid surface. And so if I do this, it's less likely for the styrofoam to bubble off. All right, cool. So now instead of having a rigid piece of styrofoam, I have a little bit more sturdy edge there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut pretty much sections of the styrofoam in order to kind of make a buoy for these mops to float on the top of the surface. Because once again, I had said that these mops are supposed to imitate floating plant roots. And so we're gonna go ahead and make this mop kind of do a ghost dance in a way, if that makes sense. So how do I want to cut this? And like I said, you could do this with either scissors or a sharp. I'm kind of showing you what it would look like if you had scissors and unable to use a sharp. We got that kind of not such a good clean edge, and we're just going to clean it up. All right, clean this one up too. Now this is okay because I'm in my garage and I have my garage door open. But otherwise, do this in a well-ventilated area. And that's what you do. So that's how you do it with scissors. Now if you're able to use a sharp, kind of cut that, you know. And what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna overlap these pieces. I don't really need this little weird jetty here. I'll just go ahead and overlap these pieces, and then I'll make this the base. We get our yarn. I don't know where this yarn starts. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna measure how long I want the tails of the mop to be, times 3. And the reason why it's times 3 is because you need a portion for the one side of the mop, another portion to go around the buoy, and then another portion for the other side of the mop. So that's gonna be times 3. This is the length of one piece of thread that I'm gonna use, and then I'm just gonna multiply that over and over and over. That doesn't have to be real exact, just exact, or just, you know, enough. And this is gonna be doubled over, so whatever thickness that you like, you seem that you're going over it, not a big deal. I think I like that. Let's see how well that goes. And then you need another piece of yarn that's gonna go around the buoy. So I think 3 is gonna be too much. Let's do just 2. And this should be enough for this buoy to stay afloat. And what I do is I just I wrap the yarn around the 2 pieces of styrofoam and I choke it. And then after I choke it, I take that piece of string and I go around. And you want to make this relatively tight because it wants to hug that styrofoam piece so it can hang and your fish can breed inside this mop. And then to keep the yarn onto the 2 pieces of styrofoam, I'm going to put another piece of yarn that goes across it and down. Pinch the yarn one more time with my forefront and thumb. And I try to find the first corner and lay it against, second corner laid against. And just try to wedge that piece of yarn between the 2 pieces of styrofoam. And then after I get it wedged between the 2 pieces of styrofoam, I do another knot underneath. And I just find any center. Doesn't have to be the real center. So I just parted it and I just, you know, I did any center because it's going to be underneath. And I'm just going to do a couple knots, overhand knots. So there you go. So there's the buoy and your yarn. And then I'm just going to clip the last 2 sections and then I'm just going to and this is how you make a floating breeding mop using styrofoam that's been recycled, as well as just using I don't know, like 30 cents a yarn, hardly anything. So for 30 cents you yourself can breed Bosmanni rainbows as well. So thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Bye guys. Thank you so much for watching this DIY video with me, and I hope that you and I make sponge mops together sometime. Okay, out of curiosity, I wanted to see how many of these I could make, and it turns out I could make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mops out of that $1.25. So I think this is well worth the investment, and go make some. All right, have a good day. Bye.
Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.